That's fine. Thank you very much. Senator Whelan, you have the next matter on the adjournment.
Thanks very much, Catherine, and thanks, Minister. Minister, as hard and all as it might be to believe, I'm astonished to learn from information that has been made available to me from both the trade union sector and the employers' representatives, agencies, CIF and others, that as we speak in the entire country, there are only 12 apprentices. I mean, it beggars belief as to ask, well, what were FÁS doing? What was their function? What was their responsibility if it wasn't to ensure adequate and sufficient training and to make sure that we had a proper and adequate skill set? Now, there was, as we all know, a dramatic and drastic downturn in the construction sector. But now there are tentative signs of recovery. There's a housing shortage, but now it's going to be compounded by a dramatic and drastic and chronic skills shortage. As recently as 2004, 1,200 apprentices were going through the system on an annual basis. And indeed, I hark back to the time of ANCO, when it was a great opportunity, excuse me, Minister, for any young person to be accepted on an apprenticeship programme. It meant they were trained, they became skilled, and they had a job and a career path for life. In turn, they very often went on to set up their own businesses. In turn, they went on to employ others. And now we have a situation where we're talking on one hand about tackling a drastic housing shortage, and on the other hand, it's incredible. In fact, the figures are hard to believe. In the entire country, 12 apprentices. So what it's going to lead to is it's going to lead to serious job creation problems, and on building sites all over the country it's going to lead to a shortage of skilled labour. And I do know that the employers and the trade union sector, all the stakeholders, have now come together and appealed to the Minister for Education, whose remit this falls to, under the newly formed auspices of Solace within her department. In fact, I'm told that within the apprenticeship section within the department, there are 60 people attached to that section. 60 people to look after 12 apprentices. It doesn't add up, it doesn't stack up, it doesn't make sense, and we're going to walk into a terrible haymaker unless there's dramatic, drastic, robust and immediate intervention by the Department of Education through Solace to get their act together and to make sure that we're not going to have a situation in the next year or two where you won't be able to get a qualified plasterer or blocklayer in this country. And to think that that could even possibly be the case is alarming, to say the least, Minister. And I'm asking for you to outline to me today what plans the Minister and the Department of Education and indeed Solace have to address this chronic problem. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Senator. Minister.
Solace is a body with statutory responsibility for the management of the apprentice training model in Ireland. Solace also convenes a National Apprenticeship Advisory Committee representative of employers, unions, education and training bodies and state agencies to advise on a range of issues in relation to apprenticeship. On the 28th of August this year, I understand from Solace that the total apprentice population in Ireland is 7,483. This is made up of a live population of 6,331 and a redundant population of 1,152. In relation to the live population, the total of those on the job is 5,591, while a further 740 are on off-the-job training. Apprenticeship is a demand-led scheme, and Solace approves an employer as competent to train apprentices, but does not limit or control recruitment numbers. The continuity of apprentice registration and the number of apprentices registered with Solace is determined by the individual employers with a broad range of occupational sectors. In recognition of the fact that since the current system of apprenticeship was implemented in the early 1990s, there has been major changes to the structure of the economy and the nature of employment. My predecessor established an independent review group to progress a consultation process and prepare recommendations on how the apprenticeship system could be improved. The group's membership include employers, representatives of business and unions and academic experts. Following a wide consultation process, the review group submitted their report in December 2013 and it was published in January 2014. Key recommendations of the review group include new governance arrangements, including the appointment of an enterprise-led apprenticeship council hosted by SOLAS with close cooperation of the Higher Education Authority. A review group of existing apprenticeship curricula as a matter of urgency. The expansion of the apprenticeship model into a range of new enterprise sectors. That recruitment to apprenticeship would continue to be the responsibility of approved employers with greater planning and controlled numbers in apprenticeship. Also, the development of clear occupational and academic progression routes and branding and promotion initiative illustrating the benefits of apprenticeship as a way of learning the career opportunities arising. The apprenticeship implementation plan was published on the 30th of June 2014. The plan adopts a phased approach to implementation, recognising the need to progress current work on existing apprenticeship and determining demands from new enterprise sector to a call for proposal before embedding new arrangements in legislation. The plan sets out how an apprenticeship council will be appointed and details a series of actions to renew existing apprenticeship and develops new ones, including a call for proposals for apprenticeships in new areas. These actions will be delivered in 3 phases and are underway. My department is confident that we now have a good basis for renewing apprenticeships in Ireland as a strong model of learning in both further and higher education and training, thus ensuring that our apprenticeship system meets the demand of trainees and employers now and into the future.
Thank you, Minister.
Just a brief supplementary, Cathaoirleach, and I thank the Minister for his answer, and I know it's not directly his responsibility, but I think Solace are being deliberately disingenuous with the answer that they have provided to the Minister. They're dodging the question, and in fact, I'm saying categorically that they're massaging the figures. That I have figures verifiable from both the Construction Industry Federation and ICTU, who have made a joint submission to the department, and as we speak, there are only 4 plasters under apprenticeship in the entire country. There are only 3 blocklayers in the entire country, and 3 painters and decorators. Now, they're obviously including mechanics and electricians in their figures deliberately to try and dodge the question. And I'm talking about the wet trades, and I'm talking about the construction sector specifically with regard to this. These figures were only put together within the last fortnight. So I'm saying I don't share the confidence that they're on top of the job, and I don't share the confidence that there is a robust system of training in place for these specific trades, Minister, and for these specific skill sets. And I would respectfully ask you to bring that back to the Minister in the Department of Education and to see that it is addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Minister.
To respond, basically to say I think nobody wants to give misleading figures, but you're quite accurate in saying that there is a shortage of those skill sets because of the downturn in the economy. We're now in a different situation, and I think there is a realisation that there are more plasterers and chippies and people involved in the industry needs. They've all gone to America, Australia, or they're all over the world. But obviously them people can come back in, and they know now, and I do know it firsthand in our own part of the world, there are people coming back from Australia and other places, as I say. But your issue is the apprenticeships, and I'm certain that the government and the minister will keep it in mind to try and make sure, because the economy is to build and grow, we need people to do those skills, and I certainly will ask the minister or report back your concern. But I certainly would hope, and I think this should be the intention indeed, everybody involved, to make sure that there are people there to carry out the projects and the work as the economy improves into the future.
Thank you very much.